Self-medicating, this is what could terribly go wrong when you self-medicate. And before you take that pill, first think twice. Before you take that pill without a doctor, think twice. You're welcome to Doctor's Television with Dr. Kasereka, and now we're going to look at the possible dangers of self-medication. Remember to hit that subscription button, click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out any video whenever we upload. And our point number 1 is overdose risk. So when you self-medicate, you're risking yourself to taking an overdose. And remember, when you have an overdose or when you take a drug in overdose, you're weakening your body organs like the liver, like the kidneys, and very many other organs. So that could be dangerous and harmful to your body. And point number 2 is the drug interactions. There are people who are on chronic drugs, or you find someone is using drug X and then they use drug Y. Without the knowledge of the health worker or the medical worker or the doctor, when you use these drugs, they may probably you may use a drug that will interact with the ones that you're using. Yes, and these reactions will be dangerous. Sometimes the drug will, some drugs are weakened by the others, and some drugs are made stronger or much stronger with an aid of the other drug. So when you use the certain drug, before you use a drug, make sure you have the knowledge of the doctor, because those reactions could be very much dangerous and harmful to your body. And point number 2 is addiction. Some drugs may cause addiction, like opioids. So those drugs, when they are used for a long time, you may end up being an addict of that drug, and you cannot do without that drug, which is very, very dangerous. When you self-medicate, you may mimic other serious conditions. For example, if you're using painkillers, you're using fever reducers, you may end up mimicking infections, cancer, and very many other things like internal bleeding. So this is very dangerous, because when you use these drugs, you may when you use these drugs, you may end up having a worsened condition because you're using this drug. Because like things like when you have headache that is caused by malaria and you take painkillers, of course the headache will go away and you feel you're somehow relieved, but when actually the disease is still there. So in the end, it will be worsening and worsening and worsening. So another point is it may be harmful in pregnancy. For example, in pregnant mothers, the drugs that they are not supposed to use, the drugs that will cause deformities, the drugs that may make them miscarry, the drugs that may cause very many other effects when you're pregnant. So when you're pregnant, don't just use any drug anyhow without the knowledge of the doctor. Another thing is resistance. When you self-medicate, especially when you're using antibiotics, antibiotics are drugs used to clear or kill the bacteria from our bodies. So when you use antibiotics or when you misuse antibiotics, you may end up causing resistance, and when you have an infection, the drugs will not respond, or your body will not respond to that medication because of the antimicrobial or bacterial resistance. So when you have when you self-medicate, you may also treat wrong diagnosis. You may treat wrong conditions. For example, when you have fever, you may think it is just malaria, and when it is probably not malaria, it is another thing. And then for you, you're taking antimalarials, what will happen? The malaria will not clear, or the other infection will not clear, but you're treating the malaria that you're actually not having. So what will happen? the other condition will worsen. It will worsen and worsen, but when for you think you're treating malaria. So you find it important to take or have the appropriate or necessary blood tests or evaluation before you use any medicine. So this is why it is very, very bad to self-medicate. We obviously have very many other causes, but for now, that's what I can tell you. So self-medication is very, very bad for you, for your family, and for the country and the world. So let's stay away from self-medication. Remember to always consult the medical worker or the doctor whenever you have an illness or before you take any pill. So it's still at Doctors Television. Remember to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell, like and share so that this message goes to everyone. This message reaches everyone because we all deserve a quality life. Thank you. Bye-bye.